Now let's continue with the questions that we received during registration, and then address the questions you have posted in the chat. And we preserve the original grammar and punctuation of your question. So let's start. Here is the first question. If we have extra publicity articles not paid and therefore without the program logo, should we add them to our report? These articles are not the deliverables we committed to achieving. We planned paid articles with logos and other requirements for later periods, so we are unsure if we should include them at all. Marina, may I ask you?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, answer to this question would be yes, you can add also additional articles so that we know how wide publicity for the project was, but please specify in the report which articles are paid or done within the project and which are not, so that we are not guessing how the financing or costs were spent for these articles.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the next. We have already clarified that in addition to providing the Facebook link to the post about the project, it is preferred to also add a screenshot in case the post disappears. Does the same apply to other online deliverables such as the project section on the partner's website, the LATLIT project profile, and articles? Do we also need to provide a screenshot for them?
I will answer. For information on project partners section on project partners website, if you mean information about the project, yeah, what we ask for mandatory description of project partners, so this information must be constant and it shouldn't disappear. So for this, we don't need screenshots. For LATLIT project profile, it's also constant. We use the same website, we check profiles, we don't need screenshots, they will not disappear. But for articles, if you publish them in a news section in different media, and they might go to some archives and might not be available after 6 months period, yes, for articles, please make screenshots. If the question was if you publish articles on the partner's website, also provide screenshots, because very, very often these articles archived and not available for the check. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. The next one. If we have to make pre-report for getting prep money, or it will be together with the first report?
I guess the question was about reporting preparation costs. Then the answer is yes. Reporting preparation costs happen with the first partner report.
Thank you. Next one. What should be written in the list of expenditures part internal reference number, the number of banking transfer, or the internal registration number of the invoice?
And there shall be a number from internal registration accounting system.
Thank you very much. Next one. In order to avoid any mismatch between translations, is it acceptable to write the names of purchases in Lithuanian?
All names shall be in English, all information in the report shall be in English, but the attachments, they will be in national languages.
Thank you. Follow-up of partner contribution. Should we indicate the contribution of declared expenditures or the total contribution? It is bigger in case the real costs are bigger. What attachments should be in this section?
In this section, as I showed, there shall be any attachment, no attachments. So, but for the amount, it's a contribution, a partner contribution, so it's 20%, and it's the same. It will not change, and it will not be smaller or bigger. It's the same as showed and calculated in the financial overview section. So you just need to copy this amount.
Thank you, Nikolai. Do we need to provide the information about public procurements or only for cost category 4, 5, and 6?
So public procurements, they shall be only for categories 4, 5, and 6, nothing else.
Clear. Thank you very much. And the last question from the registration form, management part, where we have to put all information connected with project management, for example, about kickoff meetings, participant list, etc.
I will answer this question. So Nikolai showed in his example in the partner report that information on organized kickoff meeting, the description, you can put in the first section, report identification, highlights of main achievements of partner, where you describe that kickoff meeting happened, on which date, how many participants participated. About the documents, content documents, minutes, presentations, list of participants, please put to general section with attachments. And if you had some costs, rent of premises or catering, to this section, please put financial documents, like, I don't know, procurement, if you had then invoices, yeah, like this.
Thank you very much. And let's move on to the questions from the chat. What is the first attachment line for? Nico, I think it was for your part, yeah.
So this is the construction, the form of GEMS, and unfortunately we cannot change it. But for first section, for attachment, it's in general for the activity, and next one is for deliverable. But since we would receive only attachments for deliverables, for activity, you don't need to attach anything, so it will be empty.
Thank you. It's clear. If the contractor is not a VAT payer, what information to fill?
So you would need to fill the identification number for the contractor.
Thank you. If procurement is done via EIC system in Latvia, do we have to also attach all documents as attachments, or it's enough to provide a link and access code to procurement document in this system?
Thank you very much. Good question. Yeah, if procurement is done electronically via system in Latvia or in Lithuania, you can provide link in section procurement. There is input field commands. I think it's up to 1,000 to 2,000 characters, so it's enough to provide link. And you don't need to attach all these documents to attachments. Access code, if you can give within the same commands, okay, it's fine, or you will be in touch with your with your controller, and you will send this code directly to the controller.
Thank you. So approach it the same, both partners from Latvia and Lithuania. And the next one, in public procurement section, number of symbols for supplier name is only 30. We cannot insert correct full name of supplier because symbols of the name is 57, so it's larger again.
Okay, yeah, in this case, please use this section commands and specify full name of supplier.
Thank you. Section list of expenditure. Interface is very inconvenient for the user because user cannot see all the information in one window, as was in previous GMS. And filling information need to slide to left or right, going to right, it is not seen the beginning of the line. Can improvement of the GEMS be expected?
When preparing for this seminar and also when testing ourselves, the system, we also noticed this that it's not really comfortable to fill in. Unfortunately, GEMS developers informed that it's not possible to change it and it will remain how it is now.
If I may add to this question, maybe it will ease a bit work if you download a list of expenditure in Excel, and in this file you can scroll and see and filter all this table what you see in list of expenditures. Yeah, maybe it would be more convenient.
Yeah, but to fill it in, you'll have to fill in this in the system how it is now, unfortunately. Yeah.
Thank you. To the line of expenditure can be attached only one file. So all other needed files must be uploaded to section report annexes.
As I was showing, you will need to prepare the zip or RAR file that include all needed expenditures. So for each line, there will be an attachment file with all needed expenditures, and they shall not be going to report annexes. They shall be in expenditures.
Thank you. In this section, work plan progress, each partner should add content documents they were working on. If all partners were involved in the same activity with the same results, should all of them add the same document?
Yes,
Awesome.
each partner shall add the document because the controller, each partner will have a separate controller who will be checking the report, and the controller cannot go to other project partner report if the document is there. So each partner shall attach the documents.
Thank you. Employment contracts of project manager, coordinator, bookkeeper should be attached in annex.
As I was showing, the contracts for the manager, for example, it shall be together with timesheets of institution, timesheets of the program template, and it shall be attached in annex to the expenditure that partner is declaring.
Thank you very much. As you already mentioned, yeah, we covered the topic, but however, we are providing this additional answer to be sure that you have all information you need. So for the next question, should we add the outputs of the project only if they are completely finished final, or can we add draft version as well?
I would propose to report only when you have achieved fully outputs, and then, as I said before, also then you can describe them and provide final versions. No draft versions are needed, but there are a lot of projects approved, and maybe for some of them there might be some exceptions or specific cases. Then please consult with your responsible project manager.
Thank you. A public procurement procedure was divided into parts, and there are several suppliers chosen. Does it mean that the same public procurement procedure must be included several times, indicating the number of a specific part?
I would propose to use section procurements to enter one procurement, and it's possible in attachments to upload several documents. So you can upload procurement documents and these several contracts that you will have. I don't think that you need several times.
Thank you, Irina. There has been a public procurement during the reporting period. A contract has been signed, but no payments have been made because the goods will be delivered during the next period. Should the procurement documentation to be attached to the report? There is always risk that the contract will be breached or a new public procurement will be launched. And in this case, it will mean that the financial controllers will waste their time on checking the public procurement documents.
Understand the question, but the main principle is that you have to attach procurement documents to justify costs. In this example, no cost will be reported, so no procurement documentation needs to be attached. In the next period, when delivery will happen and costs and payment will be done, you will report costs together with the procurement documentation.
Thank you. Will there be a separate webinar for national controllers?
There is an idea on the planning stage to have such a webinar, but at this moment we can't say the date. It will be announced later, specifically for controllers.
Thank you. Please remind which staff cost method requires preparation of timesheets. Gints, may I ask you to contribute? Other colleagues, can you help me with this question, or should we move to the next and wait for Gints to come back?
Please, let's move to the next, and then Gint will come in.
Okay. So we are moving forward. Do we put market research documents under public procurement section or under each respective activity?
We put market research documents under procurement section.
Thank you. If project applies 15 flat rate for the staff costs, do salary additional payments costs still need to be reported? If so, then do we need to report the total amount or per each employee? They work on the project assigned by the order of the director. And this question was asked in Lithuanian, so thanks a lot for translation to Inga.
Thank you. I think Gint now can answer this question.
Okay, so I will come back to this. Please remind which staff cost method requires preparation of timesheets.
This also question, I think, was for Gint, and do we have another questions not related to staff costs?
Yes, we have other questions as well. So we are keeping 21 and 23rd for later, or okay. I'll just take a note not to miss a single question. So it's also regarding the staff costs, office administration. Yeah, the office and administration as well as travel costs are calculated automatically and there is no need to submit the proof documents. However, we need to include the list of all expenditures during the project period. What if the amount of expenditures in office and travel expenses do not match with the amount calculated automatically?
Actually, I think this question is about use of flat rates. Office administration are calculated automatically. Okay. If I understand the question correctly, the question is if your real costs in your institution, what you spend for travel expenses or office administration do not match with a flat rate, what is planned in the project and what will be reimbursed. But actually, this is principle of a flat rate that the program pays 15% for office administration costs that is calculated from staff costs and 10% for travel expenses. Yeah, so as a flat rate. Nikolai, you can correct me if I'm not correct.
Just to add that those flat rates, they are inserted, calculated, and included in the report automatically. They will be in the whole amount. So anyway, you don't need to anyhow include them. They will be included automatically. And for real cost, for real amounts of expenses related to office and travel costs, you don't need to insert anything.
Thank you. If the employee has not worked, it's also related, like for about staff costs. Yeah, we will keep it for later stage. And for us, the report deadline is 14th August. It is already after 3 working days. So much information and requirements for making reports and so late. Why couldn't this webinar be organized earlier?
Maybe it could, but also we have worked in GS, we are assessing projects of second call, and also to is live for project implementers, we have published quite a time ago guidance for GEMS where is specified very detailed information how to prepare reports. So no, you could have started trying and testing a bit earlier than we have today this webinar. But if you have any questions or anything is not clear, your project manager is for you to help. So at any moment, please don't hesitate to contact your project manager.
So please also be careful with all our emails that we are sending from our main emails. There is always valuable information. For example, those GEMS guidelines also were sent directly to all project managers by email. So thank you. Let's move to the other question. What forms of attached files, documents should be? Could they be Word or Excel?
It depends on the documents, but if documents are copies, then they can be PDFs, like scanned copies. If it's a description of project output or description of work done, it could be Word. For Excel, many other specific documents, I can't imagine now at this moment. But actually, these all formats are acceptable in GEMS, and even if you attach, but project manager checks and finds that the copy must be attached with signature or in some other way, then you will be asked to correct and update your report.
Thank you. In the previous planning period, GS asked to name the attachments using the numbers of the deliverables and activities. In the today's example, the files do not contain the numbers of the deliverables. Where are GS and financial controllers' preferences in naming attachments to make the process of verification smoother and faster?
I will answer this question. For this webinar, we prepared, I think, perfect reports because we attached all supporting documents straight to deliverables, and it's clear which attachment, which this zip file is relevant for which deliverable, so no numbers were needed. But if you face situation that you forgot some documents or you can't attach this zip file and you will use general annex section, so for this section, please use numbers or titles for deliverables so that we can find easily the documents and controllers as well. Yeah, this is very good practice.
Thank you very much. And we have received 7 additional questions in the chat during our Q&A session. So sorry, they won't be put on the slide, but I will just read them from the chat. So in section summary of partners' work in the reporting period, do we have to write all activities where we participated or only we organized?
If the question is about project report, and I think it is about project report, then please specify which partner organized which event or activity, and also describe which partners participated. Yeah, but in clear way that, for example, seminar was organized by the lead partner and project partner 2 and project partner 3 took part in this event. So then for us, it's clear where to look for financial documents and who organized this event.
Thank you.
Maybe to add to Marina's words, that the question was about partners' work in the reporting period. So it's in partners report. So you would need still to write information about events where activities where you participated, not just to what you organized. Because some other partners might organize the event and you participated, or you were involved in some other way, and you could even have some expenditures regarding it.
Thank you. The next one. Where to find template for summary of staff costs, what can be used for project manager, financial manager instead of timesheet?
Lisa, it goes together for all this stuff.
All this stuff costs. Okay. I missed information about audit of the period report. Do the auditors mark the report or we need a written approval from them?
Auditors work also in GEMS. They are assigned to each relevant project partner. They check report in GEMS and they issue electronic certificate in GEMS. So no written certificates or written forms are needed.
And the next one, can we expect the recording today? Yes, as it's written in email and announced during our webinar, the recordings will be available shortly after the webinar today or on Monday. You will also receive direct link to presentation and recording after the webinar together with the feedback form. So you will receive a direct email from us also with all these materials. And the next one, is there a list of all necessary to submit accountancy documents in one place?
Accountancy documents, they should be attached in general annexes. If no, maybe you can specify what exactly you ask, but in about statement from the bookkeeping system, what I can imagine this statement from bank account, this goes for general section of attachments.
Thank you. By the mistake, some expenses for travel was not reimbursed in period 1. Can we reimburse in period 2?
This is a tricky question because for travel, this shall be covered from CC3, and this is a flat rate, and it's covered. Flat rate is calculated for each reporting period by the system. Yeah. So if you have specific question, maybe you can contact your project manager, or after seminar you can contact us.
Just in general, to say that when you had the costs in which period, you shall respectively report them in this reporting period, not postponing to the next reporting period.
The next one, during the approval period of the project application, structural changes were made within the municipality, resulting in the centralization of accounting for all municipal authorities and organizations. As a result, municipality organizations in Latvia no longer have employees designated as accountants or financial managers. What is the solution for utilizing the staff cost allocating for the project accountant? Can we report the cost of the accountant assigned to the project who is employed by the municipality? Alternatively, should we request changes to the budget position, renaming the project accountant to information manager or another suitable title? We will keep it also for other questions about staff, or can we provide some comments on this?
I think what I have heard, this question is very much specific for particular project, and I doubt we can, in a qualitative way, to answer it now. Please send us an email to your project manager, and we will study this situation and we'll provide you our answer.
Indeed, it's a very specific situation. And the last question from the chat that we received is, travel and office expenses are calculated automatically. Why do we need to submit all the accounting documents for those sections? If the amount is not spent, can it be saved as savings in the organization?
Partners don't need to provide any documents, accounting documents to support those expenditures. There is no even a line dedicated to this particular expenses in the list of expenditures. So it's enough. You don't need to submit anything, and if there are any savings, also for us, we do not request any supporting documents or any actual expenses for those lines.
Thank you very much. And we have some fresh questions pop up just now in the chat. What if expenses exchange visit? What if experience exchange visit has been in the first period and travel costs are in the first period, but flat rate does not cover all of it? Flat rate automatically will be calculated all the project time, but for us, more traveling is not planned. What about this situation?
So the flat rate, it's an approximation of expenditures, and it's a concept of some win, some lose, and it's as approximation, it's supposed to cover, but on the whole, on a project duration. So if in first period you had more costs, but they will be covered with later periods. So this is the reality and the use of simplified cost option, this flat rate.
Thank you. For Latvian cases, it is included as documents for the submission all accounting records. Yeah, so it's like okay, I think this question is not clear, but if I understood it right, so let me reformulate it. For Latvian cases, it is not included as documents for the submission. Does it mean that it is all accounting records? So should they put like all accounting records as documents for submission? Or please, it's this question is written by unknown user, so sorry, we cannot address you specifically, but maybe we can ask you to specify your question and send it to your assigned project manager so we could figure out and provide you a targeted support in this situation. Because there is like an additional comment, so now we are confused about what exactly from the accounting is needed to submit, so please clarify. It's quite a general question, but if you have some specifics, so please contact your assigned project manager to receive necessary support, I think. But if you have if you can formulate a specific question, please put it also on chat or contact your assigned project manager. So now let's move to the question that we left for Gins regarding the staff cost. It was question number 21. Please remind which staff costs method requires preparation of timesheets.
So I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Timesheets have to be submitted only for unit rate method. If you have flat rate method, if you have chosen flat rate method, you don't have to prepare any timesheets. There is also some specific cases which timesheets do not have to be submitted, but I will have short 2 slides, and I will show those cases when they don't have to be submitted. Yeah, maybe next question.
Next question. If project applies 15% flat rate for the staff cost, do salary additional payments costs still need to be reported? If so, then do we need to report the total amount or per each employee? They work on the project assigned by the order of the director.
We have to understand that there are 2 different systems, but one is which is used in institution where you're probably paying some additional payments, as you state here, and another which you're reporting to us. As Nikolai already stated before, it's average rate, so it will not change whatever you pay to employee in reality or not. If you choose flat rate, you always will get 15% from direct costs, so it will not change. And we do not require any additional documents for you to submit.
So the next one. If we don't use all our staff cost planned in the first period, can we use them in other periods? Asking again this question because I have received 2 opposite answers.
Again, this could be a little bit tricky because there are some restrictions in reported hours which you can report in case of unit rates. And I will show that in this slide which I mentioned.
Thank you very much. So we are looking forward to this slide, and we have only 2 staff-related questions left. If the employee has not worked for more than 284 hours in the period, then the completed work needs to be described in detail in the timesheets. What does that mean? Perhaps there is an example of both not reaching these hours and exceeding them.
Again, there will be some example in slides. You can skip the next one.
Okay, and the last question about stuff from the chat. Just a moment. It was from Tatse Blumer. Let me find it. Where to find template for summary of staff costs? What can be used for project manager, financial manager instead of timesheet?
Yeah, there is no such template. We can only provide a section in the progress report where you can provide this information. Generally, it's up to you how you describe, because we cannot know your specific situation and duties. But so overall, it provides summary of whatever was done. So if during implementation was, for instance, publicity manager organized 2 events with 130 participants, published specific amount of press releases, participated in another meeting, something like this. So provide most important information which justify amount of hours which you report.
Mhm. Thank you, Gin. So maybe now you can show us slides with this additional information and explanation. But
Can you see the slides?
yes, we can see them. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with. So we have 2 options: flat rate or unit rates. For flat rates, like I said, you don't have to submit report, contracts, or even timesheets. Regarding unit rates, you have to submit. But there is also another restriction, which is important. So for 6-month period, you cannot report more than 860 hours. This is one restriction. Second restriction is whatever hours are stated in application form. There was a question regarding this, so it could be tricky. So you could, from our perspective, you could overreach hours which are planned in one reporting period on the basis of saving from another, but still those restrictions are enforced. So you anyways cannot exceed 860 hours per reporting period. Another thing which you have to keep in mind, it's very much will depend on your contract, because another restriction for unit rates is if you work for full time for institution, then your restriction is 1,720 hours per year or 860 per half year. But if you in institution work for half of the work shift, of half of workload, then these hours should be recalculated prorated. And here in blue, you can see this example. Yeah. So for instance, if employee works in institution only for half of workload stated in an employment contract, and it's for all duties in institution, then the maximum amount which could be reported, it's have to be divided by 2. It's 430 hours. And so you cannot exceed this limitation, whatever was stated in application form. If employee works in institution full time, then this pro-rata principle do not have to be applied. It could be that employee works per project for a specific number of hours, and that's fine. The most important thing is whatever hours are worked for institution totally. What is stated in the contract. For most of you, it will be full time, and those specific restrictions would not apply except those first 2, which is 860 per reporting period and limit per whatever limit was stated in application form. Another important thing, what's document? It was not asked, but I think it's important to remind you. So what documents are needed to justify the unit rate? So it's a document of justifying the employment itself. So most likely it will be employment contract or another form or updated version of it or special decree which justifies it. There's also should be a description of job duties, which is in line with job duties stated in application form in budget comments of this stated position. Then there's official institution timesheet registered, so which registers whatever hours were worked in institution and program-specific timesheet for each employee. So there are some cases when these timesheets are not needed, as I said. So there are 3 exemptions. So it's for lead project manager. So it could be up to 430 hours per reporting period, and then we don't expect, it's not mandatory to submit timesheet. Similar for project partner, project manager, then there should be 284 hours, or for the lead partner or project partner, financial manager, then it's up to 215 hours. In those cases, timesheets are not mandatory. You still can submit, but if you didn't submit, then you have to provide summary in this section, summary of partner's work of the partner report. This general example I gave you, but specific example will depend on you, on your situation, and whatever work is done. Another important reminder, which was not asked, but we touched it before in previous seminars. So for the rest of the positions, these timesheets have to be submitted. There is, in pictures, there is example of this timesheet, so it's quite straightforward. It's a date, description of the duties, number of hours worked per project, and also associated deliverable. So you have to link it with planned deliverable. But there could be some activities which are not specified as deliverable, especially in management. Then you can write just one word, management. But this cannot be done for all of it. So especially for content planned activities, you still have to choose which to which deliverables this implemented works could be assigned. I think that was it.
Mm-hmm. Gintz, thank you very much. I can see that Liva Schwarze have raised her hand. So could you please unmute yourself and ask your question or comments if you have any?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for all the answers. I wanted to clarify about the question about the accountancy documents. So from Latvian partners, as far as we have received the information, we need to add also like several accountancy documents, like stating how the project is like separated from all the other projects in the organization, or like all expenditures done by the project done by the project in the certain project period. And then the question is like, so the office expenses and travel expenses are calculated automatically, so we don't have to kind of provide the proofs. But at the same time, we have to give the list of all the expenditures that was done in a certain project period. And these amounts could be different. So the question is, why do we have to give all the list of all the expenditures, or like what is like why is it like if it's different, like what happens then? Thank you.
I think no, you don't have to do it for flat rates and unit costs, the same as any simplified cost option. So flat rate for staff cost, office administration, travel costs, those do not have to be included because those will be calculated automatically. So you only provide direct costs, so it's CC4, CC5, and CC6.
So it's only the list of all the expenditures is only for like public procurement that we have done, so that we need to provide.
In some cases, maybe you don't have procurements or not. So yeah, but yes. So for all cost categories, 4, 5, 6.
So Liva, do you have any additional questions, or is it clear now?
Yeah, I think it's clear for the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There was one comment in chat, but in accountancy we still have put those expenditures under one code. So you have to understand that whatever will be in your accountancy system and whatever you will receive from the program will be different amounts, because these automatically calculated amounts will only appear in progress in your reports and progress reports, and then they will reimburse to you, and they will always be bigger because they will include those additional simplified cost options as administrative costs and travel costs.
So thank you very much. And we have like 2 questions in the chat additional. And the first one is how to know who is assigned project manager for our organization. And all lead partners were already informed about who is your assigned project manager from the joint secretariat. So please contact your lead partner. They know who it is. Thank you. And the last one is like divided into parts. The time allocated for the project differs. Can it be 1 full month dedicated for the project activities? And there is like additional explanation, but in accountancy, we still put those expenditures under the code. So all of the costs will be together. It is not
Yes, so
clear. It's like
the second part is about the previous question that Gin's comment.
Yeah.
And for allocated time, so if it's meant here that there is a start and end date for the activity, so there is just a month specified, and then the whole month is dedicated for this activity. Yeah, it can be.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Nikolai. So, and thank you very much, Gins, for all additional explanation and great news. Looks like we covered all your questions. It took time, more than we planned, but we're glad that we provided all answers. And thank you for your participation and for keeping the conversation going.